The better conditions for the start of the fourth test match at Headingley. Weather conditions were perfect and the pitch looked an absolute belter when Clive Lloyd won the toss, and after a little bit of hesitation decided that his batsman would take first use of the pitch. A new look England side, many changes made by the selectors, and certainly a new look bowling attack with a trio of John Snow, Bob Willis and Alan Ward in the side together for the first time. Here's Bob Willis now bowling the third over of the morning, and he's bowling to Roy Fredericks.
Great shot. No thought there of scooping that down to fine leg where Underwood was waiting. He hit that beautifully. Willie, there was a great effort there. I'd say that it carried to Willie. Just a question of whether or not Fredericks jammed it into the ground. No, he didn't. My word, that was a good effort. One shot. And the line stroke. Four more. There's not much movement in the air there for John Snow.
Smashing square cut. And that's hitting the boundary board now. That's how quickly it goes.
Great shot. That's just about the shot of the morning. Still to be Bob Willis. He's bowling his fifth over. Underwood will cut that off, but it'll be quite a comfortable 2 runs. Steele, nicely picked up. No chance, it was bouncing in front of him. Through the gap, Frank Hayes and Peter Willey at third slip and gully respectively, and it split them neatly. Started David Steele's reach and 4 runs. It's a good shot, that, from Fredericks. No ball again. So it's something of a loose exhibition here by the England bowlers. Some lovely stroke play. Fredericks having just brought up the half century in only 36 minutes.
That's going to be 4. No stopping that one, however fast he runs. So even the slow bowling doing nothing to curb the run rate here.
Shot through that gap there. Willie had no chance of picking that up. This is an expensive little experiment.
Oh, 4 from the moment it left the bat. Over pitch, no ball, everything there for Fredericks. Put away. Quite magnificently square on the offside. So a rare play and miss there from Gordon Greenwich. Certainly off the outside edge there. And just the slightest bit of movement away from the bat by Alan Ward. I didn't know too much about that either. Looking to clip it away on the onside. And ended up here by Willie doing the feeling in the gully. But going right across the line of that ball. Underwood back round the wicket to the right-hander Greenwich. Oh, and a glorious shot. Used his feet, got to the pitch of it. With Underwood no chance at all. Hammered past him for another 4. That could be a nasty one. Pocock on the field now in place of the injured Woolmer as Ward moves in to bowl a new over. Fredericks on 47. He's edged it over the top of slips and races away for 4 more. So Roy Fredericks going through to 51. And those runs have come in just 76 minutes. And there's 10 boundaries amongst them.
Gordon Greenidge is 29 now. West Indies 96 without loss. There's the 100 up. Fine shot by Greenidge to bring up the 100 for the West Indies. And umpire Spencer signals 6. He's talked to umpire Constant at square leg. And 4 more. It's a fine shot by Greenidge there of his toes. Ward straying in line. And Greenidge particularly strong off his pads. Frank Hayes. The disappointed moves on the part of the other slipfieldsman. It looked as though it might just have carried to his right hand. Well, Tony Greig was working him wide of the off stump there, but it made absolutely no difference. It was a ball of quite full length and swinging away, and it was a real play at the pitcher job. Takes Greenidge on to 46. Oh, that's a great shot. That was a better shot still. Tremendous off drive. And that's good running. Oh, well, there's been some good cricket here this morning. Didn't quite time that. But it does bring up his 50. Well, some lovely strokes in that half century for Gordon Greenidge.
There's another one crashed through the covers. Well, whatever the outfield would have been like, that would have gone for 4. Another half volley, not quite timed this time, and Greenidge a little late setting off. The throw, in fact, the wrong end, a good one, but Fredericks able to take 2 on the overthrow, and that one thinks, under many circumstances, something of an unjust law. Because that was a fine throw from Derek Underwood, and he was penalised as a result of hitting the wicket. And beaten outside the off stump. Much better ball there from Bob Willis, slanting it across the left-hander, forcing him to play. And the angle he achieves been sufficient to beat the outside edge. It's in the air, but safe, through mid-wicket. Will it go through? It'll go through, I think, for 4 for his 100. Well, it stopped, but they were just considering whether they could run 4. But Fredericks happy to take 3 and move on to 99. And Tony Greig coming in to bowl to him. A nice ball to receive on 99, yet another half volley. Steered away, this time to third man. Whoever you support in this game of cricket, there's one man that you really must acknowledge here today. Brilliant 100 in just 2 minutes, over 2 hours 20, 17 fours. His 7th 100 in Test match cricket. 3rd time he's done this against England. And his 2nd 100 of the series. Remember, he got 138 Lords in the 2nd innings there. And he too, clipping it away off his legs. Once again, it's an over-pitch ball. And deciding this time they can take 4. 4 all run. And another half volley, and another 4. David Constant's arms must be getting a little bit weary, the number of boundaries that these two have signalled here today. Amazingly high proportion of these runs have come in 4s. And nearly got through. So the breakthrough at long last. Bob Willis does it, and he's deserved a wicket as much as any England bowler. Breaking this tremendous opening stand, the total on 192. And Roy Fredericks, the end of a wonderful exhibition. 109, he's set this crowd alight, he's started this test match off in exactly the right mood. And whatever your feelings are, whoever you support in the game of cricket, one could only appreciate this effort by little Roy Fredericks. So this, only the 124th ball he received. And just finding that little gap between bat and pad, clipping the outside of the off stump.
An award to Vivian Richards. Vivian Richards has just pulled a magnificent 4 off Alan Ward, just behind square leg to get off the mark and to bring up the West Indies 200. And Ward is bowling his 7th over at the moment, has none for 46. Now has none for 50. The answer isn't the ball on this pitch. It's a very, very good batting surface. Vivian Richards is not the man to bowl it to.
Oh, what a beauty. Well, there's that front foot right up there, but the ball really nips back and takes off. Oh, and it was in the air, no hand on it, just wide.
Fine shot. A cheeky shot, mind you, but a nice way to bring up your 100 if you want to do it in cheeky fashion. So Greenwich now scores his 3rd successive Test century in this series. Joy for the West Indian spectators, and a lot of joy there for Gordon Greenwich as well.
It's Derek Underwood to Gordon Greenwich. It's beaten mid-wicket. Racing down the hill, gathering speed the whole time. Willie doing well, just about cut it off. For all that, they've run 4. Greenwich now taking his score to 108. Oh, it's a great shot. Glorious straight 6. And again, that ball just tossed slightly higher. Greenwich onto it in a flash, using his feet right down the wicket and dropping it right in the crowd over long off. John Snow back into the attack. And getting the same sort of treatment that's been handed out to all the bowlers here. Crash through extra cover. Another 4 to Richards. And that's out, and John Snow strikes. Just about the worst ball, I think, that Greenwich has received. Hammered straight to Alan Ward off the back foot. So the 2nd wicket going down at 287. Wicket to John Snow. And the departing figure of Gordon Greenwich after his 3rd successive Test match 100. Another magnificent effort, full of glorious shots all around the wicket, and we'll be terribly disappointed to see it end like that. So it's Lawrence Rowe down at the far end. And bear in mind, he's once made 300 against England. So Underwood attacking him with a silly point and a short leg. And that's a very confident, handsome way to get off the mark. No effort again. Perfectly timed shot by Lawrence Rowe. Oh, and just flicked away with the wrist. What a beautiful shot that really was. So Lawrence Rowe off the mark with 2 boundaries facing John Snow. And that will go through for another. So he goes on to 12 by means of 3 boundaries. He's only been out there for 5 minutes. And the 300 coming up. Another over from John Snow. Another off drive and another 4. Been some really wonderful shots played by these West Indian batsmen today, but they've been fed an awful lot of half volleys. I can't remember the England bowlers bowling so many well pitched up balls in a test match for a very long time. Viv Richards on 48 now. Well, it wasn't a bounce, it was a long hop. And Richards just simply crucified it. Hit it anywhere he liked. 4 runs, goes through to yet another 50. And this 50 has taken him only 73 minutes. And it's included 8 fours. Richards really doesn't want to know him, neither does anybody else.
And that is out. He's still got plenty of time for that record, but Bob Willis has taken his 2nd wicket of the innings. Vivian Richards caught not. Bowled Willis for 66, beaten the ball before, and then caught behind by Alan Knott. There it is again, and as that ball goes into Alan Knott's gloves, he equals the record held by Godfrey Evans of 219 test dismissals. So Vivian Richards goes off the field with 66 to his name. Alan Knott stands there having equalled Evans' record of 219 dismissals. And a shout again from Willis, and half shout from the slips. It's a pretty good delivery to give to your opposing captain. 3rd ball he's received. Alan Knott was almost through to be the sole wicket taker on 220 dismissals. Lloyd is off the mark. Derek Underwood was the fieldsman, but unfortunately he's allowed it to go through to the boundary, and Clive Lloyd has made 4. And Irving Rosenwald is having a field day today. He tells me that that is Clive Lloyd's 4,000th run in Test cricket. David Steele, and it's the 4th wicket down. Lloyd has caught Steele, bowled Alan Ward, and the England supporters come to their feet. Some joy at long last, and not a bad little session this for England between tee and stumps. Alan Ward with his first ball, a real loosener, and David Steele took a good catch above his head.
And this very exciting batsman, Collis King. But in the Manchester Test match, he was very much a shaky starter. All they belted it all round once he got in. So we'll see how he starts against Alan Ward. Whoops! And that's out. Well, the ball just seemed to pop, and Alan Ward has taken 2 in 2 and is on a hat-trick. There's Derek Murray. Very capable batsman, one of the most solid players in the West Indian side. This is up to Alan Ward. Hat-trick ball.
Not a bad delivery either. Suddenly there's a little bit of bounce and life in this pitch. 370 for 5. Alan Ward misses the hat-trick, but gets a tremendous round of applause from an appreciative audience here at Headingley.
Ward again to row. It's a beautiful shot. Certainly the 2 here. 2 to bring up the 400. And the 2 batsmen making it into 3. So delightful square cut from Lawrence Rowe. Takes West Indies past 400. A new spell for John Snow at the Kirkstall Lane end. Only bowled 11 overs to date, so should still be a little steam left in him. And that's the single Rowe wanted. Turned off his legs, takes him on to 50. And the 4th West Indian batsman here to go past the half-century mark. That's a good stop. Bob Woolmer, the bowler now. And that's a chance, and it's taken. And Woolmer coming on with his very first ball, getting rid of Lawrence Rowe. Good, smart slip catch there by England skipper Tony Greig. So the 6-wicket going down. Score on 413, and the man England wanted to get rid of, Lawrence Rowe, just reached 50.
Another magnificent shot there. A real flick off the legs. Well stopped too by Derek Underwood. He's always trier in the field. Only 2 runs. Looked like being 4. Oh, marvellous little leg glance. Derek Underwood staying back square there. Leg glance for 4.
That's out. The safe hands of Bob Willis at second slip, and a good breakthrough there for John Snow, who's taken some hammer here today. Has his revenge there, or Derek Murray? Port Willis bowls Snow. And Murray made 33. 421 now. 4-7. John Snow now to bowl to Van Holden. There he is. It's a fine effort there by Frank Hayes. 8th wicket down. And it's Van Bernholder who has gone. So suddenly the fielding and the catching has become top class, and England have broken through again. A fine performance. Van Bernholder is out. Caught Hayes, bowled Willis. A smart bowling change that from Tony Greig. And Van Bernholder made only 1. There's the dismissal again. Pitching quite a bit outside off stump, and Hayes was very quick to go away to his right and take a neat catch. John Snow now to Andy Roberts. And that's gone between the 2 of them. Bob Willis and Tony Greig at second and first slip. Certainly catchable. I think Willis was coming across there. We can have another look at it now. I think Willis was coming across in front of Greig, who's quite a bit behind him, about a yard behind. One of those complete misunderstandings takes place between slip fieldsmen. Bad luck for John Snow. And he's put it down. Tony Greig. And there was certainly nothing difficult about that one. John Snow again now to Andy Roberts. By signalled by Spencer. Suddenly now everyone is playing and missing or playing and getting an edge. Bowled him, and that's just reward for John Snow. Michael Holding given quite a torrid time there. So too Andy Roberts, and John Snow has come in to take his third wicket. So 3 wickets to Willis, 3 to Snow, and something for English fans to cheer about, even though there are 433 runs on the board. There it is again. Holding not quite in line there. Again, a leg cutter, the ball deviating probably 3 or 4 inches. And pegging back the off stump.
And the last pair, Andy Roberts and Wayne Daniels, stayed together to the end when the total finished up at that massive 437 for 9, dominated by those 2 openers, Fredericks and Greenwich, 192 their opening partnership in only 155 minutes, and you don't see run scoring at that rate too often in Test cricket these days. Vivian Richards, a superb innings that, really did play some glorious strokes right back to that form of the Trent Bridge Test when he made his 232. Lawrence Rowe, a welcome return to the West Indies side, only came back because of the injury to Khalid Charan, but he played very well indeed. Clive Lloyd, the man who they really needed to get into it late in the afternoon, he was out to a very good catch by David Steele off the persevering Alan Ward. Ward, a couple of wickets there, just reward for coming back to the Test side, and he fought very hard indeed. Collis King, a first bowler, and Derek Murray played some pleasant strokes in his 33. Well, if the story of the day was a dominant one as far as the batsmen were concerned in the early part of the day, it certainly didn't finish up quite like that, because in the last session of play, the England bowlers fought back, I thought, magnificently to take 7 for 107. It's not easy to come up against a batting side of this strength and suddenly to find yourself in an awful position in mid-afternoon and then still come back and take 7 wickets in that last session. West Indies were in a very strong position at tea time. They finished up in still a strong position, but England can go back with their pride intact tonight and the knowledge that they really did work hard and fight like fury in that last 2 hours. But what of the match now? Spectators who are in the ground today and television viewers certainly had their money's worth today. One of the most entertaining days cricket I've seen in years. Dominated by the West Indian batsmen, the fight back by the England bowlers. But what can England do now tomorrow against the West Indies pace attack? 4 men in that pace attack now. The 3, Roberts, Holding and Daniel from the Old Trafford Test, reinforced by Van Bernholder, not a spinner in the side. And the pitch, although playing perfectly, I think I detected a little bit of movement off the seam there this afternoon, and a little bit of extra bounce for John Snow when he got stuck into it late in the day. It's a great test for the England batsmen. We'll see tomorrow how well they come out of it, and no doubt the England selectors will be watching just as anxiously as everyone else back in their living room. 2 openers, Fredericks and Greenwich, 192 their opening partnership in only 155 minutes, and you don't see run scoring at that rate too often in Test cricket these days. Vivian Richards, a superb innings that, really did play some glorious strokes right back to that form of the Trent Bridge Test when he made his 232. Lawrence Rowe, a welcome return to the West Indies side, only came back because of the injury to Khalid Charan, but he played very well indeed. Clive Lloyd, the man who they really needed to get into it late in the afternoon, he was out to a very good catch by David Steele off the persevering Alan Ward. Ward, a couple of wickets there, just reward for coming back to the Test side, and he fought very hard indeed. Collis King, a first bowler, and Derek Murray played some pleasant strokes in his 33. Well, if the story of the day was a dominant one as far as the batsmen were concerned in the early part of the day, it certainly didn't finish up quite like that, because in the last session of play, the England bowlers fought back, I thought, magnificently to take 7 for 107. It's not easy to come up against a batting side of this strength and suddenly to find yourself in an awful position in mid-afternoon and then stay intact tonight, and the knowledge that they really did work hard and fight like fury in that last 2 hours. But what of the match now? Spectators who are in the ground today and television viewers certainly had their money's worth today. One of the most entertaining days cricket I've seen in years. Dominated by the West Indian batsmen, the fight back by the England bowlers. But what can England do now tomorrow against the West Indies pace attack? 4 men in that pace attack now. The 3, Roberts, Holding and Daniel from the Old Trafford Test, reinforced by Van Burn Holder, not a spinner in the side. And the pitch, although playing perfectly, I think I detected a little bit of movement off the seam there this afternoon, and a little bit of extra bounce for John Snow when he got stuck into it late in the day. It's a great test for the England batsmen. We'll see tomorrow how well they come out of it, and no doubt the England selectors will be watching just as anxiously as everyone else back in their living rooms. The West Indies began the second day of the 4th test at Headingley at 437 for 9, a massive total, and England really did need to take that final wicket very quickly this morning. The pitch was still good, conditions good, perhaps a little bit of a cloud cover, which may have troubled the England batsmen later on. But we join play now in the 3rd over of the morning. It's Bob Willis bowling to Andy Roberts.
Again, a nice full pitch. Turned away for 4 runs, square on the onside. So the West Indies, last pair, have added 9 runs this morning in 10 minutes. Roberts has moved on to 16. His partner Daniel's on 3. It's the first chance now for John Snow with a new ball. Fine throw. Peter Willey again, the fielder at cover point. Always worth a throw at the bowler's end there. Frank Hayes fortunately was backing up. And he's dropped it. Oh, would you believe it? That's the ending that everybody on this ground wanted. And Alan Knott drops the catch off John Snow. There's the deflection. Alan Knott moving across to pouch what really must have been one of the easiest catches that have been offered to him in his career. Snow again to Roberts. And that's it. So Roberts getting his middle stump flattened there by John Snow, and John Snow ending a very good match, going on to his 200th wicket in Test cricket. Truman 307, Statham 252, Alec Bedser 236 and Underwood 216, the men ahead of him. So that completes the West Indies innings, all out for 450. A fine way to see the innings ended, the middle stump going back flat there. Roberts giving himself some room.
There's not much difference there between that 450 and the 437 for 9 with which the West Indies started. In fact, I think probably the England batsmen may well have been happy to have the West Indies occupying the crease so that any overnight surface moisture could have dried out of the pitch. England's first object, as they faced the first ball of their innings, was certainly to reach 251. That was the mark where they would have saved the follow-on.
I've in fact got a deep long leg here. That makes quite a change. So Roberts coming into Wool. That was a hard chance. Richards very close there. It was off the meat of the bat. Woolmer thought he might have been away with the boundary there. But one of those that very often sticks. Coming back, pushed away quite firmly by Woolmer, and in and out of Richards' right hand. So Holding's first ball to steal. Short, got over the top of it this time, whipped it away, a little whippy shot. Not a genuine hook, but it gets England away and brings David Steele 2 runs. There's the figure of Andy Roberts. In actual fact, he's very fine there at long leg.
Bowled. And I think that in due course it will serve the West Indians well, the pace bowlers, if they do in fact keep the ball reasonably well up to the bat, because yesterday the English bowlers, the moment they tried to whack it into the pitch, really came off very slowly, like off a mattress. But when they bowled a length and kept it up there, then it moved about and the odd one lifted. There was just a little extra movement.
Hold him. It's a good delivery. That in slanting Yorker. And that was right through David Steele's defence. So the first break for the West Indies with only 4 on the board. And that was a good ball. Might just have come off the inside edge. But it was certainly thrown for pace and moved. 4 for 1 wicket. Steele bowled holding, and Woolmer is still not off the mark. It's a quick delivery. It was Andy Roberts who picked up Hayes' first ball in the first innings of the Old Trafford Test. Ball that lifted sharply from around off stump. It's a funny sort of bouncer. It looked as though it was also a big leg cutter as it came back at Hayes, and Derek Murray had to come back from outside leg stump. Took the ball, in fact, slightly on the offside. Well bowled. That's the perfect ball to follow the bouncer. One that leaves the bat. With Richards, the fieldsman. 2 to Woolmer, takes him on to 3. It's a neat stroke, nicely timed. Got the full meat of the bat behind that, and there's no chance of cutting that off. Fairly races down to this end of the ground. That's the football stand end, and it's the first boundary of the England innings. Bob Woolmer. I've seen some beamers over the years, but I've never seen one quite like that. Quite accidental, just slipped out of his hand. Just like squeezing a lemon between your fingers.
And Frank Hayes yet to get into his stride at the far end, facing Wayne Daniel. That's a good shot. Short, swung on it nicely, and collects 4 just in front of the Players' Pavilion. So something at last for the England supporters to cheer about. And that's it. Frank Hayes on his way without looking at the umpire. Very hard Nick going through to wicketkeeper Murray, and Frank Hayes just that little bit late. The extra pace getting through. A second wicket to the West Indies. Frank Hayes the man to go. And that's the way it happened. So a second blow struck by West Indies here this morning, capturing the wicket of Frank Hayes. Disappointment for him, another failure to the Lancashire player. He's out for 7. And England once again struggling here on 24 for 2. Testing time here for Chris Balderston, getting a fine hand from the Yorkshire folk here, recognising one of their own coming out to play in his first Test match. So Daniel to Balderston. So Balderston again to try and score his first run in Test cricket. Daniel the bowler. Nicely away, full pitch, with confidence into it. Pushed it away, not with a great deal of power, but sufficient to bring him 2 runs. Well, that's always a great moment. And yet to concede a run is Van Bernholen. And the overthrow there, and to give Bob Woolmer 2 runs. Found the gap this time. That'll race away for 4. There's no third man. Lawrence Rowe chasing it, but no chance of stopping it. And that's a chance, and it's taken. Collis King throwing it high, and Woolmer, after making that boundary, is the 3rd Englishman to go. The outside edge, and the ball going straight to Greenwich at second slip. He tosses it high. Collis King walks around to take the catch afterwards, and in at number 5 also for his first test match is Peter Willey of Northampton. So the 2 test debutants out there together, Willey and Balderston. What can they do to bring about an English recovery here? Peter Willey by nature is a good, aggressive stroke player. Whether coming in at 33 for 3, one has got confidence to start playing shots in the word go. Difficult position for him. Well, he's got it through, and he could get 4, yes. That'll race away. So he didn't mind how he got the 4. It wasn't a chance. It was played down firmly, once again through the corner slips, and Peter Willey gets off the mark with a boundary. Oh, it's nicely found the open space. Willey quickly onto the front foot, just pushed away, hit with no great power. He's anxious to get 3, and he's coming back for the 3rd. That's another good firm on drive by Balderston. Vivian Richards chasing, but he can give it up. It will run down to this boundary for 4 more.
Fine stroke there from Peter Willey, whipping it away for 4 through mid-wicket. Van Bernholen is of less pace than Roberts, Holding and Daniel, but that was a fine shot. He waited on it and whipped his wrists across it. And another fine shot. That's going to race away down the hill as well. There's no chance of cutting anything off. That's going down that hill. And 2 splendid boundaries to Peter Willey. Appreciated by this crowd, who haven't had a great deal to cheer about this morning. It's safe, and 4 runs. Viv Richards, the fieldsman. That's good running from Chris Balderstone. Peter Willey. That was a great attempt. My word, that would have been a fantastic catch, because he had his feet off the ground. He was horizontal when he got his left hand to it. That was a great attempt by a very fine gully fieldsman. Lawrence Rowe is the man. And that must be out. Yes, beaten on the backstroke, and Andy Roberts has broken through for his first wicket. He's deserved it too, because I think he's been the best of the West Indian bowlers, even though he was wicketless before that delivery. So it's Peter Willey, LBW to Roberts, and he made 36. A very good effort in his first test match innings, coming up against bowlers of extra pace. He handled it well and showed good temperament. and provided a lot of enjoyment here for the patriotic spectators who didn't have very much to cheer about earlier in the innings. It's a quick delivery. It's got Greg off the mark with 2 runs.
That's a good shot, half volley, put away nicely by Balderston. That'll race away in front of the Players' Pavilion over the practice wickets there for 4. So the first real shot of authority from Chris Balderston since lunch. Taking full advantage here of this half volley from Holder. Haven't been too many of them. Hurrying through for the single, Balderston have to move, but makes it. And the single from Gregg at long last brings the 3 figures up for England. 100 for 4. This run's coming in the 38th over. Holder now to Gregg. And that's hit nicely off the back foot. Subfielder there, Bernard Julian chasing. Hoping for a little back heel. Not quite sure whether he's saved it or not. So the batsman went through for 3.
Well, I would say that's a chance to Lawrence Rowe. He looked to me as though he was going sideways and a bit backwards instead of sideways and forward. And I think he got both hands to it. Not a particularly good stroke. Both hands about 3 inches above the ground.
Well, here comes Collis King with the very first ball to Tony Gregg live after tea, and the England captain finds the boundary. 4 runs, takes him up to 36. And Tony Gregg beginning to show the sort of form that we've been looking for all season.
So there's overthrows there, it should be 5. Constant signalling the boundary. So a chance for Wayne Daniel to come down the slope here at Headingley from the Kirkstall Lane end. And gloriously driven through the offside. Not a particularly quick delivery that. It was a little bit of a loosener, wasn't quite a half volley in fact. But there was a big wide open space there which Gregg found very confidently indeed. Hitting it on the up, in the air, but perfectly safe. There's no mid-off there. So Daniel to come in and bowl to Balderston. That's a good shot. Half volley, it was a no ball too. Clipped off his legs. Julian given chase. Slowing down, might just stop it. His little back heel to Andy Roberts to complete the fielding. Isn't the same fluency, of course, about his approach to the wicket as one sees with Holding and with Roberts. Big powerful man. This is where he starts to strain a little bit. And that's a fine shot. Lloyd giving chase. If anybody can catch it, he will. It's beaten them both. So the 4 that Tony Gregg wanted, the hat already off, claiming fine ovation from this crowd here at Headingley, going through to his first 50 in this Test series. Couldn't really have come at a better time for him. Came in when England was struggling at 80 for 4, now shared a 69 partnership with Balderston, and he's made 50. No ball that he's turned around the leg side. 2 runs here to Chris Balderston. Chase So Van Bernholen came down on that late, put it away off the back foot nicely. And once again, the ball is the winner. So Chris Balderstone moving on to 30.
And Roberts again to come around the wicket to Balderstone. Good-looking shot for 2 runs. And Schroeder, the fieldsman, he's put down 2 chances in this innings so far. And that is out. And that's clever bowling from Andy Roberts. He thoroughly deserved that wicket. He's changed his line of attack by coming around the wicket, having had Balderstone get used to him for quite some time. Coming over the wicket, changed his line and cleverly picked up the breakthrough wicket. 169 for 5 now. And a good effort from Chris Balderstone. He was very slow making that 35, but he stayed in there in the middle of the order, held it together, and then he allowed Tony Greig to take control when the England captain came in. So a good effort from both these new caps, Willie, who made 36, and Balderstone 35. There's how it happened. Just the faintest of edges and very, very low down. Balderstone waited to see if, in fact, it had carried to Derek Murray. Previous record was to carry 14 points without dropping any of them on the way around. That fella's just broken it. Well, that'll race away, probably for 3, I should think. It won't quite reach the boundary, but it goes very fast down that hill. Through. And that'll be 4. Just a little defensive push, but that really was running very fast away again from Lawrence Rowe. And another very good-looking stroke, a better one that time, even though Bernard Julian will just pick it up inside the boundary. 3 more to Greig, so having been tied down for 35 minutes, he's suddenly broken out with a 4 and a 3. Runs on to 60. That's a good shot. That's 4 runs. There's a lot of pleasure for people here cheering for England. It's a good shot. Flick off the pads, and it's 4 more. Andy Roberts, the man down at long leg. So 18 from this over from Wayne Daniel. Shared out between the 2 batsmen, and the crowd loving every moment of it. It's a fine stroke. 3 runs. Good shot. 4 runs. .200 comes up, and the crowd loves every moment of it. Quite a transformation in stroke play here. Chris Balderstone as one might imagine. His first test was having problems getting the bowlers away. Alan Knott has come in to join Tony Greig, and suddenly they've put on 32. Only been together for 20 minutes. And a misfield. 2 more runs.
Three slips in a gully for Andy Roberts. That was probably squeezed onto the ground, I think, by Tony Greig. Well pitched up. And pitch in there between keeper and first slip. That's a good shot. No question at all about that. Right off the meat of the bat. So another fine straight drive from Tony Greig. Really back in form here now, moving on to 70. Daniel de Greig. Oh, that's a good shot. Full toss, but nicely tucked away. Tony Greig moving on to 84. And one is aware he hasn't had a happy test series to date. In fact, runs have been hard to come by in first-class cricket this season. His 84 is his best score up to date this year in any first-class match. Oh, glorious shot. The half volley. Successive boundaries there now taking Tony Greig, really the master of the situation at the moment. So Daniel to Knott. Firmly behind it, wants a single. He really shouldn't be so foolish as to risk a run out on the last ball of the day. Tony Greig, quite rightly, sending him back. And Tony Greig, the man who's pulled England round here this afternoon.
Tony, a magnificent innings for England. You must be delighted to come back into form like that.
Well, it's, I hope it's only the start, Peter. Yeah, we all, as cricketers, have our bad times, and it's nice to come out of them. I'm not playing as well as I can, I don't think, but it all takes time. We've got to be patient.
Did you start this innings any way differently, mentally, to the other innings you've played against the West Indies this season?
I think you know and I know. When you've played cricket for as long as we have, you know what you've got to do. It's just a question of doing it, and sometimes it's not very easy. Sometimes a little easier than other times, you know. That's the way it goes.
Tony, we won't keep you out too long, but a quick comment about Peter Willey and Chris Balderston's innings, first innings for England.
I thought they both played tremendously well. First time out up against a good attack on a cloudy day at Leeds. Got to be a good performance from both of them. I'm very happy.
And a good performance by yourself in England today.
Well, we've still got a long way to go. We've still got to get out of a lot of trouble, so...
Thank you very much for talking to us.
Tony Greig and Alan Knott went out to resume for England at 238 for 5, with their first aim to reach 251 without being all out, and thus save the follow-on. Then they had to make sure that they got enough runs to make things difficult for the West Indians. Conditions were very good, a little bit of a cloud cover that would assist the bowlers perhaps in the first few overs, but basically good batting conditions. Not such good news for the West Indians because Michael Holding was unable to take the field. It was announced that he wouldn't be coming onto the field all day, but a little better news from Van Burn Holder. Although he'd torn a hamstring muscle, he was on the field to assist Clive Lloyd in his bid to take the final 5 wickets. We join play now in the first over of the day. It's Collis King, and he's bowling to Tony Greig.
A good shot. Well, he started off where he left off yesterday with 3. Andy Roberts having a loosener up, chasing it out to the mid-wicket boundary. There's 3 to go for Tony Greig. I should think he probably has this over and another one before the new ball's taken. I wouldn't think Wayne Daniel will be given the newie. It'll be kept for Roberts in his next over. And the follow-on is saved. 251 for 5. And he's in trouble here, and he's missed it.
And that is Tony Gregg's 100. It could so easily have been a run out. A complete misunderstanding there between Gregg and Alan Knott. Tony Gregg goes to his century. What a way to get it. Don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that in Test cricket before. And they're in trouble again. Good heavens. There's some appalling running between the wickets going on out there. You'd think they'd never run together in their lives before.
Hold it or not. First runs off the new ball. 2 in this for Alan Knott. Andy Roberts does the chasing. Throw being not quite as good as the pickup, and allowing more overthrows here. So in all, Alan Knott will get 3, and could be some more. Oh, would you believe it? He's going to get 7. I don't think I can recall that happening in a Test match before. Roberts to Knott. Edged away quite nicely. And 4 runs, very fine leg glance to Alan Knott, and that's certainly bringing up the 100th partnership between these two. That's a good shot going through mid-wicket for 4. Well, on the scoreboard he's on 45. That takes him on to 49, but I think there's some doubt whether the scoreboard registered the 7. You rather feel it might have been 6. So, according to our score sheet in here, that took Alan Knott to his 50. Doesn't make any difference this time, because that's another boundary. A full toss, pushed away, square on the offside. And successive 4s to Alan Knott, taking him through to a thoroughly deserved 50 here. Played really well, came in his old cheeky style last night, got away to a good start, and he's carried on, possibly a little bit more solidly this morning, but has given wonderful support to his captain, Tony Gregg. Chance to see that little boy, probably came on and gave him a sweet. Get the big tell-off from the policeman there. Don't think they'll take any further action there. Spectators settle now and Holder to start another over. Impressive little spell this from Holder. He's made the ball move off the pitch both in and out, and that one come in the opposite direction. And again, the beauty. What a fine over. Sure to get a big hand from this crowd for that. Most impressive over that we've seen in this innings today.
Big shout for that one, and not out. Nasty moment there as David Constant from behind him as he started to move his right hand from behind his back. Must have given the batsman a few terrors, but unmoved. Poor old bowler.
Andy Roberts 2 for 80 from 29 overs. Really good bowling that, and Daniel now is in his 23rd over. Four runs.
couple more, did not. And the 300 comes up now. The loss of 5 wickets. Will beat Andy Roberts. Wayne Daniels, the one who eventually does the field. A little delay here whilst Freddie the Pooch is hustled off the ground. A little dog lover's day here. Not sure if he comes under the category of wounded warrior. He might be if that other dog gets hold of him.
Daniel to Greg. Brilliant stop. The reaction's quite remarkable there of Clive Lloyd. Grabbed that when it had gone past him, saved another certain boundary. It's a no ball. So all kinds of curious things have happened today. That no ball bringing up the 150 stand between these two, which has taken just 200 minutes. Craig facing Daniel. Well, that's it this time. Clive Lloyd's taken the catch, broken this fine partnership. It's the end of Tony Greig for 116. A brilliant match-saving century for England. And Tony Greig will get a wonderful ovation from this packed Headingley ground. Came into bat when England were in real trouble, survived through yesterday, progressed today. The hat's already off, the bat in the air to acknowledge this great ovation. 339 minutes out in the middle for his 116. It included 1 5 and 15 fours. Daniel to Snow. And he's bowled him, but off a no ball. And Daniel thinking there's no justice whatsoever, but on himself to blame. He's overstepped the mark many, many times. But it was a good Yorker getting through. It's Roberts now to Knott. He's got that away. Chased by Julian, but it'll hit those practice wickets in front of the pavilion, and it fairly races away once that happens. Falls to Alan Knott, moving on now to 80.
It's been a lucky little session for John Snow. That's safe, and he's got away, although it was in the air, through extra cover. Inside edge, got a thick one, and it's still 2 runs for John Snow. That's 4. Attempted Yorker again, but once more from Daniel, a little bit too full in length.
Bowler at the far end is Collis King. It's a nice shot. Beautiful square cover drive by John Snow. And let him go through for 4. So John Snow's resisted very stoutly now for the best part of an hour. Moves on to 16. So Van Den Holder, a new over. And England have been made to fight very hard for the runs. There's been no easy pickings from any of these West Indian seam bowlers. Short of a length, roundabout off stump the whole time. And he's dropped it. So a let off for Alan Knott with his score on 94. Hold of the unlucky bowler, making that lift quite appreciably. Catching the shoulder, I think, of Alan Knott's bat. Clive Lloyd moving across to his left. And one could say that 9 times out of 10 he would have clung hold of that. Just have got a little edge onto that, onto the pad. And Holt is ready to start a new over. And that's a fine shot. Over pitch, nicely to pitch the ball, cracked it away square on the offside for 4. John Snow moving on to 20. And the total 364. This might bring a memory back to some people in Yorkshire, the score that Leonard Hutton made at the Oval against Australia in 1938. And he's gone this time, went for it again, didn't quite get to the pitch of it. Roy Fredericks at backward square taking the catch. So some recompense there for Van Bernholder, collecting the wicket of John Snow via a Fredericks catch at backward point. So the 7th wicket going down at 364. John Snow have to put him away for 4. That one never quite there for the half volley, foot not in the right position. Loft it square and Fredericks taking the catch. And with 7 wickets down, new batsman is Derek Underwood. Van Bernholder the fielder and Derek Underwood away with a single. So again, Alan Knott on 96. Some bruised legs in the morning. Alan Knott taking quite a battering around about the thighs during the course of this long innings. And that's a desperation shot, which very nearly saw his downfall. More like the sort of shot you see on Sunday afternoon coming in a test match with a score on 96. Look at that. Still he got one for it, moves on to 97. And that's edged and that's caught, I think, by Clive Lloyd. Tossed high, Collis King takes his first wicket and Derek Underwood is the man to go. Out for just a single. Another wicket down for England, the 8th to go down. Their score on 367. Handshakes for Collis King to celebrate his first wicket in Test match cricket. Underwood again, never in line, perfectly straight ball, good low catch there taken by Clive Lloyd. So 2 catches he's taken in the slips, but he has missed one, dropping Alan Knott when he was on 94. Alan Ward to face Collis King. So the left leg push forward, just striking it, it's a leg by. But at least it brings Alan Knott down to receive. Again, Fredericks going back at square point, extra cover in. That's turned away nicely. That's it. Clipped away, found a beautiful gap there between deep long leg and square leg. Alan Knott goes through to a richly deserved century. He's delighted, so are the crowd, relief all round. Tony Greig, his captain, out on the balcony to applaud him. And Alan Knott going on to 101 out of 372 for 8. 292 minutes he's been out there, helped Tony Greig in this magnificent England recovery. And one can record that he's included 1-7 and 12 fours in that 100.
It's in the air. Andy Roberts is the man coming round after it, and he can't make it. He's a little bit slow to start there. May not have picked it up in the background of the football stand as quickly as he'd have wanted. Just another one, similar type of stroke. Just the 3 runs to Alan Knott. 2 short pitch deliveries there. Alan Knott's not normally a hooker. Been a bit unlucky, Lloyd, in the field. Dropped a catch and has both hands bandaged. Now he has the little finger of the left hand bandaged, but the main injury is on the right hand there. Oh, that's got to be out. Beaten for pace there on the backstroke, and it's Andy Roberts' 3rd wicket, and well deserved too. 379 for 9 now, with Andy Roberts having Ward LBW without scoring. And you can see again how that happened. It's a good shot. It's too short, and then Holder would have meant to keep it up and bat the block hole, I would think, but not. He was waiting for it there, right on the back foot, just sliding that back foot across and the left foot out to the leg side. Well, that's a better shot still. He really was waiting for that. The bouncer that comes after being hit for 4, there was no doubt in Knott's mind that he was going to get it. He dealt with it very severely. He's outside leg stump waiting. Well, I think Holder must have signalled that some 2 or 3 yards from the bowling crease. Now Daniels under it, and he's caught it safely. So Alan Knott is out, the last wicket to fall, and the total is on 387. 116 to Alan Knott. It equals his highest score ever in Test cricket. He made 116 against Pakistan at Edgbaston in 1971, and what a great comeback this is. With his skipper Tony Greig, he'd been having a pretty moderate series, and a great performance in this innings to lead England's fight back. Well, that's a fascinating scoreboard. Failure up the top and then little fight back in the middle. And then Tony Greig and Alan Knott, each 116. Tony Greig's 7th Test century, his first against the West Indies, and boy, what a timely effort it was. Alan Knott equalled his best Test score, that against Pakistan a few years ago, and John Snow came in with a very, very good partnership there. That was very handy to England hopes when he batted for so long with Alan Knott. 387 then, and a deficit of 63 as far as England were concerned, but that's much better than they could have expected yesterday, when at one stage they were 32 for 3. They really were in trouble then. A marvellous fight back. Nice to see Tony Greig amongst the runs, and also Alan Knott. They weren't quite as certain today in their batting, but it was a tremendously gutsy performance, and one that they and English spectators and patriots will remember for a long time. Well, Tony Greig, having got to 387 and kept the deficit down to 63, must have been
desperate for wickets in the evening, just 80 minutes to play, and it was a matter of whether they could snap up just 1 or 2 West Indian wickets on a pitch that certainly would have been freshened a little bit by those showers. We join Bob Willis now. He's bowling the first over of the West Indian innings.
Second time this over, Willis has lost his run. The first time he went through with it with a bit of stuttering towards the end. He's lost it again. So he's not too pleased, Bob Willis. John Snow to bowl the second over to Gordon Greenwich. And he's done the same thing. It's a wide. It's a funny old start to the innings. It's in the air. Oh, he doesn't get to it. That's Alan Ward down at long leg. Again, he might just have lost the ball initially in the crowd. It's off the cue end of the bat. In between the 2 feet. Fredericks much too quick with the stroke there, the ball holding up in the pitch a little bit. And it came right off the end of the bat.
John Snow, in fact, in his second over here from the football stand end. And the West Indies score is on 6. Single there, somewhat streaky one to Gordon Greenwich. He'll collect 2 runs from it. So an over from John Snow now, Fredericks facing. No third man. So first 4 to Roy Fredericks. Thickish outside edge, but all the way along the carpet. And he's bowled him. What a great start. Breakthrough by John Snow. Roy Fredericks out, clean bowled, fine delivery that from John Snow. And exactly what England needed. Great fight back with the batsman, and now John Snow coming into the act, breaking this opening stand with a score on 13. Roy Fredericks, clean bowled by John Snow for 6. Ball pitch in middle, hitting off, and Fredericks again playing slightly across the line of the ball. So a good sight for English eyes to see that dangerous little left-hander Roy Fredericks back in the pavilion very early on in the affair. That's a confident way, get off the mark. Beautiful piece of footwork there by Richards, in position quickly. Peter Willey chasing it, but he's away with 3. And those 3 runs, in fact, giving him goes down in the record books as a world record. He's now scored more runs in this calendar year than have ever been scored previously in the whole history of Test match cricket. Bobby Simpson's 1,381 runs in 1964. That record has just been broken. Richards has played only 10 Test matches, whilst Bobby Simpson played 14. It's put away square, a shortish one, following the over-pitch one. It's Greenwich's turn this time. And Frank Hayes, as nimble as ever, cutting off the boundary, and Greenwich credited with 2 more. Useful ball too there, smoking the pad. Greg thinking that it got an edge, tossing the ball high and jubilantly into the air, but no response. Quite rightly there from umpire Constant at the far end. Passive figure remains. It's a useful ball, in fact, by Alan Ward. And you can see, no question at all, the ball flicking the pad. And that's a good ball. A really hostile delivery there from Alan Ward. These West Indians, they still keep on looking to play the shots. Grange, I think you'll find, was so quick on that. He was playing it miles too soon. Completed the shot before the ball struck him. And that's LBW. So Alan Ward in turn striking another great blow for England. Gordon Greenidge, the man with 3 successive Test centuries to his name, departs with the score on 23, an LBW victim of Alan Ward. A really fine hostile beginning by the Derbyshire bowler here, culminating in that second wicket of the West Indies second innings. Greenidge moving into line and looking very plumb there. Ball kept low, hit him halfway down the pad, which brings Lawrence Rowe down to face. LBW shouts as we've heard today, only been one of them answered in this innings. And that one lifting and going down leg stump.
It's a good piece of fielding from Derek Underwood.
Well, Vivian Richards and Lawrence Rowe managed to stay together to the close of play. Some pretty good-looking strokes in that 32 not out from Viv Richards. Lawrence Rowe wasn't quite so certain. He's made only 4 in around 40 minutes, and the edge of the bat was found a few times. But that 56 for 2 added on to the West Indies lead of 63 gives them an overall lead of 119, still with 8 wickets in hand. A pretty good position to be in, and one that Clive Lloyd must be quite happy about. But what about the England fight back? Remember that Old Trafford Test match where all was despair and they were beaten by the West Indies by 425 runs? And then in the first innings of this Headingley match, West Indies made 450 and suddenly England had crashed to 32 for 3 and then, even worse, 80 for 4. But what a great fight back, a tremendously gutsy performance, one full of courage from the batsmen, bowlers and fieldsmen, and most impressive to watch. And they were beaten by the West Indies by 425 runs. And then in the first innings of this Headingley match, West Indies made 450 and suddenly England had crashed to 32 for 3 and then, even worse, 80 for 4. But what a great fight back, a tremendously gutsy performance, one full of courage from the batsmen, bowlers and fieldsmen, and most impressive to watch. If anyone ever tries to tell you that cricket isn't a funny game, then believe me, you can assure him that his argument is completely fallacious. We've had 3 marvellous days here at Headingley, and I'm looking forward to another one next Monday. Well, everything pointed to a magnificent 4th day in this Headingley Test match when the players took the field. West Indies 56 for 2 at the start, and although they had a pretty good batting lineup, they needed a strong partnership from Vivian Richards and Lawrence Rowe, the overnight not-out batsman. For England, well, they desperately needed quick wickets. They wanted to break through this partnership, and then they wanted to get through the bottom half of the West Indies order to have a reasonable 4th innings target to chase. We join play now with John Snow, the bowler. The batsman is Lawrence Rowe, and it's the 3rd over of the morning.
Richards telling him to hurry, and he'd have to do, and he's given him run out. And up goes Constance's finger, and really Lawrence Rowe couldn't believe it. There must have been a very easy run if he'd gone. He hesitated to begin with, Richards calling him, exhorting him to go on, very late in starting. And a fine throw from David Steele brings about the end of Lawrence Rowe. Left hand, 1 wicket to throw at, and looked as though Lawrence Rowe was skating home. It means the overall position now for West Indies is that they've got a lead of 123 and have lost 3 wickets. Very Terrible bounce there. That one didn't get very high at all. 2 short legs in now. Cover point under mid-off. And that's beaten John Snow. And Clive Lloyd handsomely away. Beautiful shot for 4 runs. Woolley chasing it. Lloyd turning quickly, going through for the second. That's a chance, and as he... Oh, Willis dropped it. Right in at the chest. They're so close together. A little reassuring pat from Tony Greig, but that a really bad error by England. A thick edge. Willis tumbling. Difficult to see, first of all, whether he managed to cling onto it or not, but it had bounced out. Willis again to Richards. Great shot. Looked super when you middle it, but everything went right for Viv Richards there. Just let the bat go through a long way away from it. And his blower pulled it on. Bob Willis has done it. Very casual shot again there by Richards. I was a little concerned with the one before. It looked a little bit flash to me. A long way away from that one, an inside edge, dragged it on, and Richards, the man that England desperately needed back in the pavilion, goes out. Bowled by Willis for 38. And West Indies here tumbling now to 72 for 4. So a wonderful start here by England. There's the inside edge. The ball, in fact, just going onto the pad before it broke the wicket. That's a good shot again. Over pitch ball, driven very fiercely. Through mid-on for 4 by Clive Lloyd. So he moves on to 10, his second boundary. And that's through the gap on the other side this time. Just easy and casually stroked away for another 4 by Lloyd. Of Collis King, he's away off the dreaded naught and collects 2 runs. It's half volley and Collis King showing the way to deal with it. John Snow chasing it, might just... No, he's given it up. One feeling there that a little bit more effort, he might just have managed to pull it up. Collis King now moving on to 6. And he's hammered another one. Ala Lloyd, one through the offside, one through the onside. 2 over pitch balls, and this is the West Indian method when they lose wickets, is to attack again. Quite time, but it's gone through extra cover all right. Alan Watt chasing it, should cut it off. And Lloyd going through for 3. .39 added. 43 added now. Short one forced away by Collis King, who's quite a stroke maker, this young lad. Score on 99 now. And score on 103. A bad ball there from John Snow, really was. Wasn't even a bounce, it was a long hop. Collis King all the time in the world to crush it through the offside. So 4 forced to him in his 18.
It's out of David Steele's reach. He really went very, very fast. And it's 4 runs. 29 to Lloyd now.
And he's out. He's played on. The second West Indian batsman to do so this morning. That really was a throw-the-bat job. The ball was shortish outside off stump, and he was hitting it off the front foot. And I don't think he'd be well pleased about that. A long way back onto the off stump. And that is a tremendous breakthrough for England. 121 for 5 now. There's no third man, and that's going to race away down the hill and over the boundary. And he's got it away beautifully in front of square leg. That was the one they're looking for with that field placing. Derek Murray's answer was to hit it in front of square leg and keep it away from the two men. It was a nice shot.
Tremendous shot by Collis King, right over the top of extra cover. He's going to have a crack at everything.
Another great shot. Waited for it, chopped it away square. Yet another boundary to this man who's really set these people alight here this morning. Come in when West Indies are really struggling. He's answered it by some ferocious attacking shots. That's in the air. A great effort there by Alan Ward. Just got a hand to it. Long sprawling dive to his right. Could well have hurt himself there because he fairly took off. Noble effort here by Alan Ward at mid-off. All lofted, middled. Just got the ends of his fingers to it. And that's chopped away again to third man. The ball once more gathering pace down this fast, bare outfield. Coming through for the single he wants for his 50. Oh, what a remarkable 50 this by Collis King. Been in there less than an hour for his 50 runs. But the important thing, he hasn't received too many balls to reach it. 9 fours in it. And has only had 39 balls. That's an outside edge. Only 2 slips in there now. And he gets 4 runs as a result. That's a chance, and it's taken. Tony Greig accepting the chance at first slip. The departure of Collis King, another wicket to John Snow. The end of a really robust innings from the young Barbadian. Out for 58. Score on 178 for 6. So relief to England to get rid of Collis King, looking so dangerous. Only in there for slightly over an hour for these runs. He really has taken this England attack apart. And has brought an awful lot of enjoyment to everybody packed onto this ground. 10 fours in his 80-minute stay. Snow to Holder. That's found the gap again between third slip and gully. Willie chasing it, the ball hurrying away down there, and Holder off the mark with 4. That was a nasty one. And he's bowled him. So jubilant Bob Willis, arms flung high, getting rid of Derek Murray, nipping one back, a little bit of extra pace off the pitch, getting through Murray's defence, and clean bowling him with his score on 18. This is the 7th wicket to go down. Willis the bowler, bringing one back there, finding the gap between bat and pad. John Snow just pulling Alan Ward over to the onside. He's got a third man on the boundary now to save any chance of the edge going for 4. There's nobody at mid-off, and that's exactly where he's been clipped through there by Holding. Well, they've done well, these two. They've got 3 runs.
Oh, and that's very close. It's got to be out. And it kept so low that there's hardly any chance at all of Michael Holding playing that. He was pretty unlucky there. That one, I reckon, just got up about 9 inches off the pitch. It cut back pretty sharply as well. Oh, yes, absolutely plumb, but very unlucky. He was playing there for the ball to come up around about, well, the height of the top of the pad, and it really crept through. So it's 188 for 8, and that's what England needed. It's in the air, and it's safe. Frank Hayes, the fieldsman. Just out of Hayes' reach. Nothing he could do about reaching that. He was moving forward and sideways. Oh, bowl him. Willis has done it again. It's his 4th wicket, and it's 193 for 9. Van Bernholder out to an extremely good delivery. And Willis really firing now. Outside off stump and cutting back very well. He's lifting that off stump right out of the ground. 193 for 9. Aboard, and that's pretty well stopped. He's way wide on his left-hand side. Hold him, and Willis has 5 wickets. A great effort from Bob Willis in his comeback match. 5 for 40. He bowls Roberts for 3. Daniel remains naught not out, and England need 260 to win.
And that 260 well within the reach of the England side. Not really a formidable target, even against the West Indies bowlers. A great trio there, Roberts, Holding and Wayne Daniel together with Van Bernholder. Well, the real secret was, could the England side get away to a good start with their makeshift opening pair, Bob Wilmer and David Steele? We join play now the first ball of the England second innings. It's that magnificent fast bowler, Andy Roberts, coming in from the Kirkstall Lane end.
And it's 260 to win. 4 runs for a start, but, oh, that was close to Clive Lloyd. And it's well bowled. Nice outswinger there. Wilmer was drawn into playing at that. It's fairly wide, though. It's along the ground. They'll pick up a couple of runs at least there. Collis King, the fieldsman. Certainly a quick over to start from Andy Roberts. And that is out, caught behind the first wicket, a triumph for Andy Roberts, and David Steele is gone. And the second ball he faced caught Derek Murray, bowled Roberts, and England are 5 for 1, needing 260 to win. There it is. I'm not sure that David Steele had to play at it. It certainly is a tremendous shout there.
Unbeaten there. Well, he had to play at that one, and another really fine delivery from Anderson Roberts. Completely beaten the forward defensive push of Frank Hayes. Woolmer now to face Michael Holding. It's a nice shot. Lovely time deflection going through for 4 by Woolmer. Here he comes now to Hayes, and just dropping short. Picked up on the bounce by Richards, just in front. So Anderson Roberts, this really great bowler from Antigua, the West Indies, has reached 100 Test wickets in 2 years, 142 days. And this is only his 19th Test match. So Roberts to Hayes. And that's it this time. Richards has made no mistake. Hayes is out for naught, and West Indies strike again. Roberts picks up yet another wicket, and he's made the breakthrough here for West Indies. First of all, Steele, then poor Frank Hayes out with a naught to his name, and England on 12 for 2. Previously in this over, he's edged one just short of Richards, but this time straight into his hands at third slip. Ball tossed high, and England now in serious trouble. So Balderson away, over pitch ball, pushed away nicely through mid-on. And wisely they'll settle just for 2. And Woolmer now down at this near end to face Roberts. Good shot. Timed that nicely, pushed it away just in front of square. Holder doing well, he'll cut it off. And the batsman turning for 3. Hasn't missed a ball since this match started, our little friend down there. Oh, played that one. Wasn't far away. Again, the lift and movement. And that's it. Balderson's gone. No need to look at the umpire. Went for the flashing off drive, thick outside edge. Roberts strikes again, and England once again in all kinds of trouble. Balderson out for 4, caught by Murray, and the total standing only on 23. Disaster for England again. Balderson looking to crash that through extra cover, never quite at the pitch of it. Murray moving to his right, snapping up the catch. Woolmer survives at the far end on 17, and Woolley to face his first ball. And that must be close to. And Andy Roberts absolutely disgusted that that wasn't given. Woolley moving inside. And I think a few words coming back here from umpire Constant. And he's very upset, and the West Indians are very upset. They felt that Peter Woolley was absolutely plumb there. Moving onto the back foot. And my word, that looked close.
Wayne Daniel now bowling to Bob Woolmer. Throw, doing the chasing. 3 runs there for Woolmer. It's bad luck for Roberts. Good shot by Willie. But a good effort by Roberts to get round there. He's already bowled 6 overs, and he went round very fast around that boundary.
That's a shot, beautiful shot, over pitch ball. That's the way to deal with it. It's gone way down the leg side, racing away for 4. 4 byes. Didn't look to be too much wrong with Michael Holding there either. Recovered pretty well from that strained calf muscle. It's a good shot. Got into position nicely, forced away off the back foot. Roddenthrow giving chase. Just flicking it back before it reaches the fence. And Woolmer takes 3 for it. So that brings up the 50 partnership between these two. Came together when the 3rd wicket fell at 23.
That is out. Bob Woolmer, Vanburn holder, who hadn't taken his sweater off in this over, has struck the vital blow again for the West Indies. Woolmer out for 37. LBW to Holder. There it is again, starting off to go forward, and he wasn't forward at all with that left foot. When the ball struck him, his left foot was exactly on the batting crease. It's a good shot, 4 runs. That's a great shot. Roberts aiming for the Yorker again. Willie got it away just through point. You have to be quick here. Oh, that would have been out. Wayne Daniel was very smart to come away to his left there and in, and Tony Greig misjudged that badly. 96 for 4. Well, good shot. And almost a fine chase as well. Michael Holding really moving quickly after that. No doubt it went for 4, but umpire Tom Spencer wouldn't be able to see it from there. The boundary line is away out to square leg, and that brings up the 100. Four runs. Full toss. It's a good shot. That went very fast indeed. Good couple there. Bernard Julian is again after the ball, towards the boundary. And Tony Greig coming back to his 3rd. That's a lovely throw. Gosh, he's a good field, this fella. Fielded superbly in Australia throughout the tour out there. And the games I've seen him over here in England, he's lost nothing of it. A couple more. Oh, that'll be 4. That was so well timed. Well, I started off to say there's a couple there, and he only played a defensive stroke. That went off the bat like a bullet. Let's have a look at this for timing.
More runs. Beautiful on drive. No way they'll stop that one.
Ted, well, that single to Tony Greig heralding here, the 50 partnership between these two. And the sun certainly shining on Tony Greig at the moment. Those 50 runs have come in just a shade over 35 minutes. That's a good shot by Greig. Body right over the top of the ball, kept it down low. And those steel pit children shouldn't be out there. But still, it's another 4 to Greig. He's on 29 and holding bowls to him. And that's taken. Willie goes. It's a fine catch. Andy Roberts, the man who's already taken 3 wickets, snapping up that catch. Excellent catch, taken low down by the ankles. Holding takes the wicket. Peter Willie goes, and this fine partnership is broken. So Willie caught Roberts, bowled Holding for 45. Middled nicely off the bat. Must have thought he got 4 runs. He found the Orney man fielding round the corner there. Low to his left and beautifully taken by Roberts. So the crowd on their feet here, and quite rightly so, because that's been a really commendable performance by Peter Willie. 36 in the first innings, 2¼ hours out there for his 45 in the second. Anything up there he put away very effectively, included 9 fours in his innings. The umpire's going to have a word about the light, I think, after that short pitch ball. And they're off.
Well, I bet Derek Underwood was pleased about that. Only a few more minutes to go, but he'll be quite happy to start off tomorrow morning, hopefully in better light with his skipper, Tony Greig, who incidentally is playing another magnificent innings. Some really beautiful drives there and shots off his pads to go with that century in the first innings. He's come back to form with a bang, and he's exuding tremendous self-confidence out there, and that could have a great effect on the bottom half of the England innings. Very, very bad start there by England. They've been pulled together by Willie and Greig. Can they do it tomorrow? Well, in this test match, I wouldn't like to wager anything on the out. Tremendous self-confidence out there, and that could have a great effect on the bottom half of the England innings. Very, very bad start there by England. They've been pulled together by Willie and Greig. Can they do it tomorrow? Well, in this test match, I wouldn't like to wager anything on the outcome. It's been such a fascinating and magnificent test. One of the greatest 4 days cricket I've ever seen in my life. And tomorrow, I think, will be a fitting finale. The odds? Well, I'm sure at this moment they must be even money, and I suppose only the patriots of either side would consider that their team had a cast iron case. 114 runs needed by England on the final day of the Headingley Test match to pull off what would be a famous victory. It's been a marvellous cricket match so far, conditions perfect for the final day, not a cloud in the sky, and it was Michael Holding who began play by completing his unfinished over to Derek Underwood. There'll be some tingling nerves out there this morning. Not only from the batsman, but also from the fieldsman. Derek Underwood survives that first delivery. Tony Greig facing Wayne Daniel. Much more bowled. Tony Greig must take all the singles. There's no real chance to protect Derek Underwood, the night watchman. It's a pretty good delivery from Wayne Daniel. Came back a long way off the seam. Still missed by a coat of varnish.
And that is out, caught behind. Derek Underwood waving the bat outside off stump. And the first wicket goes down. So that's the breakthrough for the West Indies. It's not the top batsman, Tony Greig. It's Derek Underwood. He's out without scoring. And it's 148 for 6. Just a faint outside edge. No chance of Derek Murray missing that one. And this is the crucial moment for England. The centurions of the first innings come together now. Alan Knott coming out to join Tony Greig. This is the partnership that matters. So that's Tony Greig now to face Andy Roberts. Oh, beautifully fielded. Clive Lloyd. He covered a lot of ground there away to his right. There was a certain boundary had he not got his hands to it. Beautifully bowled. Wasn't at full pace. Beautifully controlled movement away from the bat. Tony Greig had to play at it. Daniel to Alan Knott. Knott is off the mark. No one throws the fieldsman. To Alan Knott, and the 150 comes up. An appeal there from the players, much more of an appeal from the crowd, but it was going right down the leg side, I should think. Well bowled, and it's out. What a good delivery that was, and that's the one that's won the match, unless Tony Greig can do something really extraordinary. Alan Knott is out for 2. Caught Murray bowled Daniel, and a magnificent delivery that was. The big leg cutter, and Derek Murray takes it. Was still on the way up, and he took it at shoulder height. Tom Spencer raises the finger, and Alan Knott is out. So it's 150 for 7. And Wayne Daniel has struck twice this morning. Once Underwood, once Knott. And now only Tony Greig left with Snow, Ward and Willis. Ball called by umpire Spencer. Pick up 2 runs. And Daniel still with the sleeveless sweater on. Long throw. Pick up 2 for that. Fine shot for 4. Good crisp stroke off the toes. Nothing flowed about it. Just nicely angled with the bat. That's out. That's a good catch too. A very good catch, and Daniel's done it again. What a great little session for Wayne Daniel, and no wonder they're pleased with him out there. There was a good delivery. John Snow had to play at it. Gordon Greenidge, the man taking the catch that dismissed John Snow. Alan Ward comes out now, so it'll be a matter of him sticking around now while Tony Greig throws the bat. 101 still needed. And Andy Roberts, the bowler. And that's down to third man. It's safe and it's 4 runs. That is just what Tony Greig has to do. He's not going to get much in the slot to drive. He's going to have to make his own length. Good Yorker. Single to Greig. He goes to 41. Not sure that was the wisest move to take at that stage of the over. Not a lip reader, but it looked as though it was something like, where did that go? And that's exactly where it went. About 9 inches on the right-hand side of the edge of the bat. Fielded by Viv Richards. So the field spreads a bit now for Tony Greig, facing Wayne Daniel. The 2 gullies come out, the 3 on the offside, saving the runs, and 2 on the onside. 2 slips. That's a good shot. Picked it up and hit it down to deep backward square leg. Picked up the line very quickly there and went with it. And that's an equally good stroke over mid-wicket this time. Of course, Clive Lloyd to make 1 or 2 fielding changes, I would think. Tony Greig goes to 49, and the total moves on now to 172 for 8. Take the single that time. Oh, and Greig's gone down. He's brought up his half century and taken a big tumble. 173 for 8, and Tony Greig is 50. His 50 came up in 102 minutes, 8 fours. And now Alan Ward has to survive 2 balls from Wayne Daniel. First one negotiated safely. Well played by Alan Ward. So it's 173 for 8. Tony Greig on 50. Alan Ward hasn't scored, and Wayne Daniel now has 3 for 60.
And again, the field pushed back now for Tony Greig, whose only chance here is to try and crack these pace bowlers. Difficult job for him, but one can only admire this innings again. 50 out of 173. Roberts coming into him. It's a great shot. My word, I don't think we've seen a better shot played in this match. Everything was there for him, over-pitched outside the off stump. My word, he didn't outflower up that one. It really hit those boundary boards before a fielder had moved. Greg going through the single, and hesitation there by Ward. So he's safely home, and that just leaves Alan Ward with one ball to keep out, in the hope that Greg can carry on launching this attack then from the other end. Back come the close catches. 3 slips, 2 gullies now for Alan Ward. Played that well. So Ward here giving valuable support to Tony Greig. They've had it 20 since he came in. He's not yet off the mark, but that's of no great consequence. So Roberts 3 for 39, 82 more runs still wanted. Holding to Greig. And that's beautifully placed. Put it in with the extra slip. Lashed off the edge for 4 runs. And Tony Greig was not at all worried where that one went. So since Tony Greig decided to launch this attack on the arrival of Ward, he's already hit 5 boundaries in the last 4 overs. On 59 now, holding the bowler. And he's taken it on the 4th, single there. One, 2, 3 slips. And Clive Lloyd going in to make the 4th, a squarish gully. Well, could really have left that alone, but unfair to criticise a number 10 batsman. 1 more to keep out. So he kept it out all right, survives another over, and another opportunity for Tony Greig. That's in the air, could be safe again. Yes, 1 bounce to Lawrence Rose, crept in a good deal closer at 3rd man, looking for the miscued shot there. Well, they took a single off that. Greig possibly initially thinking he might have got 2. And back come the slips again. Roberts to Ward. Two more to face. I'm sure this crowd here at Headingley are counting with Alan Ward. Oh, what's Tony Greig doing? Halfway down the wicket there. Getting a very old-fashioned look from Alan Ward.
Anyway, everything running for Tony Greig here.
Oh, it's a handy delivery. Bounced like a tennis ball. 4 wide, so no need at all for Tony Gregg to worry about that. Extremely short. Cleared Tony Gregg 6 feet 7 height there by 3 or 4 feet. I think the shortest bounce we've seen in this series. So the 7th over, bowled this morning by Roberts from the Kirkstall lane end. Straight to Fredericks. They won't get more than 1, so Ward this time was left with 5. That could be a little ominous. There's a nasty delivery. Did pretty well there not to get a touch. Well, he survived 5 this time. That's no mean performance. .69 runs still required. And Clive Lloyd is turning now to Van Bernholder. He got the wicket of Bob Woolmer. That's in the air and safe for 4. And there again, rather surprising that he hasn't pushed that man a little deeper. Just clearing his head. And now he's pushing him back in the place where the ball bounced. Could go through for another 4. Touch and go. Nice bit of work in the outfield. Just 2 runs there to Gregg. And Greenwich doing the fielding out there. First time he's been away from the slips in this match. The score now on 199. Gregg on 72. In the air but safe. Greenwich again busy out there. So he gets 2 more. And for the second time the scoreboard moves down to 199. And added 2 too many on the last time. Now he should be looking for the single. That's it. Sensible piece of cricket there by the England captain. Brings up the 200. 1 ball left for Alan Ward to face. Really enjoyed that. Lesser pace than some of the others he's faced. Well pitched up ball. For the single this time. Avoid deep at mid-off. West Indies in no hurry. Gently walking back into the close catching position. 2 balls left in this over. Is that it? Yes, he's on his way. He's walking without looking at the umpire. So this fine partnership broken at last. But full marks to Alan Ward. They've put on 46 runs. 40 of them by Gregg. 6 extras. Alan Ward hasn't opened his account but has rendered valuable service there. Alan Ward, the 9th man out for England. The score on 204. 56 more runs required. And Alan Ward getting a good hand for some heroic resistance there. Just couldn't resist flicking there at that wide one and offering Murray his 3rd catch of the morning. 47 minutes they were together, and if Bob Willis can do a similar job, England would be very close to this 260 target they require. Just 1 ball left in this over. And is out LBW to a full toss first ball. It's all over. West Indies triumphant, grabbing the stumps, the souvenirs for them, because that means they've won this series, and they've won it by a margin of 55 runs. So the end of really one of the greatest test matches we've seen for many, many years. And Tony Greig, the man who defied them to the end, carrying his bat in the 2nd innings, undefeated for 76. A truly magnificent effort from Tony Greig, adding to his superlative 100 here in the 1st innings.
Thank you very much indeed, Tony. Well, the crowd have been very patient. They're all standing around the pavilion and they've been quiet for a moment. Clive Lloyd, really a magnificent test match and a fine West Indies performance.
Yes, I thought we played extremely well. And I must full marks to my players, especially the batsmen, and more so the bowlers that were injured, who persisted and despite their injury, and they did a fine job for us. I think England played extremely well. They gave us a run for our money. Tony played a marvelous, 2 marvelous innings. It's a pity that he's in the losing side, but can't take it away from me. He had a very good game, and it's obvious that we are quite happy that we have won, but more so that the people have enjoyed the cricket.
How will this affect your attitude towards the 5th and final test now that you're 2 up in the series?
I don't think it would affect us that much, in the sense that we just want to win and win as much as we can. But I think it could be a very good spectacle, and I hope a lot of people do turn up.
When you started the day with England just needing 114, did you feel that you had to make an early breakthrough to win this match?
Yes, it's obvious that once we got that initial breakthrough, when we got Alan not out and Underwood, we thought we had a chance, because we knew then that with the fellas to come, Tony would have had to take things into his hands, and we'd have had to throw the bat as he did. And somewhere along the line, I'm sure that we probably would have done it. And Michael just produced one of those balls that, and got the vital wicket, and that was it.
Well, Clive, the crowd have been very patient. I know they're waiting to give you a big cheer. Many thanks indeed for talking to us, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much. Cheers again.
Tony. Well, Tony, a really wonderful performance by yourself, but you must be a little disappointed about this morning's play.
Yes, very disappointed. Obviously, we had a chance this morning, but I wouldn't want to take anything away from the way the West Indians played. I think that they set the pace for this match on the first day, where they got 450 runs in a day, which is a tremendous effort. And the crowd that saw that will probably never forget it. And I think perhaps it was that 450 that at the end of the day, perhaps was the thing that sorted us out. We weren't ever quite there.
How did you sleep last night?
Oh, very well, very well. My wife promised me she'd come up if I got 100 in the 1st innings, which I did. So she came all the way to Leeds, and I slept very well, yes.
When you set out this morning, what sort of instructions had you given to the batsmen that were to follow you?
We just had to play normally. That was mine. So I don't believe too much in trying to tell other people how to play, especially people like Notty, who's played a lot of Test cricket and more than I have, and who's been very successful. We went out there and played the way we knew how, and obviously I played a little bit differently towards the end. But again, I wouldn't want to take any credit away from the West Indies for the way they bowled. As Clive Lloyd said, they had 1 or 2 bowlers who had little niggles, and they bowled through them. They had to, because they were under pressure if they didn't, and they did their job very well and won the match, and that's really what matters. So good luck to them.
Well, Tony, good luck to you when you play at the Oval in about 2 weeks' time. A really fine performance by an England side that many people had written off even before it started.
Well, it's nice. It's always nice, rewarding to make a fight back, and I think we did fight back well in this match. As I've said before, we're not a great side, but we are a bunch of fighters, and we're playing against a fine cricket side. And so I think, in view of those statements, then our performance wasn't too bad.
Well, few people will disagree with Tony Greig when he says that the West Indians have been the better side in this series. There's been some magnificent cricket, but I suppose the clincher has been the three fast bowlers in the West Indian side. If you have two great fast bowlers, then that's pretty good as far as the captain's concerned. If you have three, then it's a tremendous bonus. And Roberts, Holding and Daniel certainly bowled extremely well throughout the 4 games played so far. This is one of the finest games of cricket I've ever seen. I suppose the tied test match in Brisbane in 1960, and then the Manchester Test 61, and perhaps the Lord's Test in 56 would be the 3 top-ranking ones in my mind, and I certainly put this one in the top 5 of games in which I either played or watched. A tremendous game of cricket, played in a very good spirit, and some really marvellous performances. Well, England go to the Oval now, and they can continue this comeback trail that they started in this game. At one point with the West Indies 437 for 9 and England 32 for 3, things were as desperate as they possibly could be. And I think from that point on, we saw a really gritty piece of cricket from Tony Greig and his England side. And if they can keep that going, and if they can produce another couple of young players like